Hello students, welcome to the class of commerce. Today we are going to start the new chapter, that is chapter number 3, sources of finance for joint stock company. I hope previous two chapters are clear to you and you have written the answers of the exercise question given in the previous lecture. Today we are going to discuss the sources of finance for joint stock company. So in the previous chapter we have discussed about sources of finance to sole proprietorship, to partnership, and for joint stock company. Now we are going to study it in detail, all the sources. So in a joint stock company, finance is required for short term purpose and long term purpose. That's why it is termed as long term finance and short term finance. Okay, now how the short term finance can be acquired? This can be acquired through issue of equity shares, through issue of preference shares, through retained earning. This is the profit kept aside of current year. That means year after year, when profit is not distributed and kept in the reserve for future purposes, that is termed as retained earnings. Then through debentures, issue of debentures to the general public, the company can also take loan from commercial bank and loan from other financial institutions. Now why this long term finance is required? For the acquisition of fixed assets, which we have already discussed, like purchase of land and building, purchase of machinery, or purchase of any fixed assets. Is this clear? And what do you mean by long term? Long term means when the funds are invested in the company for more than 1 year, that is termed as long term finance. Okay, and short term finance, which is required for a period of 12 months or less, that is termed as short term finance. So how we can acquire short term finance? Through public deposits. We will study it in detail, don't worry. Then commercial bank, trade credits, customers advances, then factoring, intercorporate deposits, and installment credit. So these topics will study in detail as it comes. For a time being, sources of finance, long term and short term. Long term, which are meant for the acquisition of fixed assets or investment in fixed assets or investment in the company for a period more than 1 year. Okay, and short term finances generally less than 12 months. I hope this is clear to you. So the long term finance can be engaged in the business through owned capital and through borrowed capital. Owned capitals are equity shares, preference shares, and retained earning. These three are own funds, or means owner funds. Why? Because they belongs to the owner of the company. Though preference shareholders are not the owner of the company, they have certain features of the equity shareholder. That's why they are covered under own funds. But as soon as the company have sufficient amount, they pay the preference shareholders and they are shown the gate. We will study all these topic in detail. Okay, so these three are own funds, rest all the funds are borrowed funds. That means they are external liability. Clear? And these three are internal liability. You know the difference between internal liability and external liability. As you know, capital is also a internal liability for sole proprietorship. So this is capital, or you can say own fund. Okay, internal liabilities. Only these three: equity shares, preference shares, and retained earnings. Retained earnings are the part of profits. Is this clear? Like, if I want to explain you in easy words, like you all get for an example 500 rupees for as your pocket money. So you keep some amount aside for any of your particular purpose. Like you keep 200 rupees aside, you say that I will not expand it. Okay, you put it in your gullak, okay, for a near future, that I will collect the money and then make a expansion in some of your requirements. So that amount kept aside is termed as retained earning. I hope it is clear to you. Now we are going to study about equity shares in detail. So I have already told you about equity shares as chapter number 6 of accountancy, but still in this lecture I will explain you again. So what is share? So the capital of a company is divided into a number of equal parts, and each part is called a share. Is this clear? For an example, the like capital of the company 50 lakh. Now it is divided into number of equity shares. Like if it is rupees 10, then the shares will be 5 lakh, and these 5 lakh shares will be distributed among the general public. Means the owner will keep the all the persons who are having the shares will be termed as the owner of the company. Is this clear? Even if you have one share, it will be termed as the shareholder, owner of the company. So equity shareholders are the holder of the company, malikana hak, they are the owner even if they have one share. Now many of you may be thinking, sir, ek share se owner. Yes, it is true. The point is, though that one share doesn't have any value, so no one is going to listen to you that you are the owner of the company, but in papers, in real sense, it is said that person holding even one share is the owner of the company. Is this point clear? I have already told you about this equity share in class 11th, if you remember. Again, I am telling you. These equity shareholders are the owner of the company. Okay. And the person who is having maximum amount of share, that will be in the board of directors. Do you remember 7? There are 7 members, at least 7 members. Okay. Board of directors of the company. I hope you remember those points. So even if you are having one share, two shares, it cannot be in parts. Okay, now this 5 lakh shares can be, someone will be having 100, few will be having 50, some will be having 50,000, few may be having 1 lakh, and so on. Clear? Now I hope this explanation is clear to you. Then there are two types of shares which a company can issue, that is preference shares and equity shares. So what are equity shares? Equity shares are the shares which don't have the preferential rights. There are certain rights, okay, which I'm going to tell you. See, preferential rights are rights of getting dividend before the equity shareholders. Now what is dividend? See, every shareholder is entitled to the dividend of the company, and this dividend is nothing but the profit set aside, or you can say after meeting all the expenses, after meeting all the interest and taxes, the amount which is left, that is termed as profit. And out of those profit, board of directors give dividend to the shareholders. Okay, now there are two shareholders, one is equity shareholder and preference shareholders. So preference shareholders are the shareholders who have the rights, preferential right. What are those preferential rights? There are two preferential rights. One is to get the dividend before the payment of dividend to equity shareholders. That means प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स को डिविडेंड दिया जाएगा इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर से पहले. हु इज द रियल ओनर ऑफ द कंपनी? दे आर द रियल ओनर आर द इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स. In real terms, preference shareholders are not the owner of the company. ना, ओनर नहीं है. after a certain period of time, that means maximum of 20 years, these preference shares are repaid. And these preference shares are for the cautious investors. Not more investors are willing to invest or purchase preference shareholders. Now there has been certain amendments in the Companies Act 2013, and still preference shareholders are not of the prior choice. कोई जल्दी से इसमें इन्वेस्ट नहीं करता. क्लियर? सो there are two preferential rights. कि first, dividend will be paid prior to equity shareholders, and the second preference is at the time of winding up of the company. अगर कंपनी बंद हो जाती है, at the time of winding up of the company, preference shareholders will get the amount prior to equity shareholders. Okay, there is a list of making payment. There is a list of making payment that is termed as liquidation of company. ठीक है ना, एक कंपनीज एक्ट में ही है लिक्विडेशन ऑफ अ कंपनी. कंपनी बंद होने के तरीके बताए जाते हैं इन दैट. ओके, दैट हाउ द कंपनीज विल बी वाइंडेड अप. बेसिकली नो कंपनी वांट्स टू गेट liquidated. Even government don't want to liquidate company because it result in the economic, it results to the economic degrowth. Okay, because industrialization is the industrialization and service sector are the main source of generating per capita income. That's why. Is this point clear? So no company wants to get liquidated. See, even Malia, government declared liquidation, but he tried everything not to get liquidated. But this is the last step in the company to get liquidation. First, everyone wants to grow, okay, expand, stabilize. But if doesn't work, if the company doesn't work, then the company is to be liquidated. Now the recession time has came. Now you will see this not only in India but in entire world. You will find now liquidation of the companies. Why? Because most of the investors have invested money in different sectors. Now those sectors has been locked down due to this pandemic. So there is no production, no revenue generation. Then how the payment will be made, how the income generation will be there. So now there will be a crucial time upcoming in the near future. Entire world is going to has started facing recession, and there will be lot of negative impact on the economy as well. Okay, so I think this dividend point is clear to you. The company is paying the dividend to the preference shareholder first and then to the equity shareholders. Okay, so this dividend is declared by the board of directors in annual general meeting. AGM होती है कंपनी की. ठीक है ना. कंपनीज एक्ट इज एप्लीकेबल, तो उनकी वर्किंग पे डिटेल इज गिवन बाय द कंपनीज एक्ट. ओके, if I explain more, then it will be quite difficult for you to understand, because this entire company act I will start telling you, then you may not understand those words because they are purely from the law. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, that is features of equity share. So equity shares are issued to the general public before the issue of preference shares and debentures, and these shares don't have any preferential right. I have explained you what are the preferential right now. I have explained you. Then see, winding up of the company, they are paid at last. Equity shareholders are repaid at last. So all these points I have explained. And one more thing, that is equity shareholders enjoy the voting right. As I told you, the equity shareholders are the owner of the company and they enjoy voting right. There is a voting done, and then there are special resolution SR and ordinary resolution OR, which is passed in every AGM related to the company, related to the decision making of the company. So preference shareholders don't have voting right. ठीक है ना, they in real terms they are not the owner of the company. Now what are the advantages of equity share? So from the point of view of the company, First one is no burden on earnings. Why? Because dividend are paid to the shareholders, and dividend are only paid at the time of sufficient profit. If there's no sufficient profit, then they will not be paid dividend. Is this clear? And there's no fixed rate of dividend. Okay, there's no fixed rate of dividend. Preference share have fixed rate of dividend, but again there should be sufficient profit, and the board of directors should be willing to pay the dividend, otherwise there won't be. And fixed burden is like issue of debentures. It has fixed burden. Why? Because interest is to be paid regularly. If interest is not paid, then they can ask for the liquidation of the company, but the shareholders can't ask. So the first point is no burden on earnings. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Then the second point is permanent capital. Why it is said to be permanent capital? Because it is refunded only at the time of winding up of the company, not prior to it. Equity shareholders are repaid only at the time of winding up. Otherwise, it is in the company for the lifetime of the company. Is this clear? Now, the third point is no charge on assets. No charge of assets means there's no any the mortgage means like we need not to issue shares after pledging any asset. Okay, they are just issued to the general public, and they don't have any fixed charge on any of the assets. Okay, there are two types of charges, fixed charges and floating charges, but not in your syllabus, so this much is I think sufficient for you. Means when you want to have loan, you pledge something. Pledge means girvi rakhna. You pledge something, mortgage something. So for issue of share, you need not to pledge any asset. Then source of strength. See, if you have good name of the company and equity shares are issued in the market, then you have the ability of borrowing funds from outside as well. That means from borrowed funds. It shows the high credit worthiness, because people are reading that they have equity capital in the market, sufficient equity capital. They have the choice of raising funds through borrowed funds as well. As I told you, in the capital structure, the manner of employing the engaging the funds, isn't it? Then small nominal value. Generally the value of equity shares, as I told you, nominal, like in the multiple of 10. So low income group investors are ready to invest in the equity shares. Then unlimited sources, because as much as the amount mentioned in the memorandum of association of a company, authorized capital, I have told you na, authorized capital, how much shares the company can issue to the general public. So to that maximum limit, you can issue the shares to the general public and raise funds for the company. Okay, so these are the advantages from the viewpoint of the company. Now from the viewpoint of the investors, we are going to study. Now, what is the first point? They enjoy voting rights. Who? Equity share enjoys the voting right and have the control over the decision making of the company. Then the liability, second point is the liability of equity shares is limited to the face value of the share they hold. For an example, if the liability of a shareholder, see, if any shareholder is having 500 share, so his liability will be at maximum to the amount, that is rupees 5,000. You remember this point, unlimited liability in sole proprietorship. If there is loss to the company, if a person is having only 500 shares, so his maximum liability will be 5,000, not more than that. Is this clear? Usually it is up to the unpaid amount. Okay, So not the entire, that is the point na, company separate and the members are separate from the company. I told you na this explanation. So the liability is limited to the face value of the shares. Okay. And if there's good profit, if company is working nicely and the share prices may increase multifold, like today the share price is rupees 10, tomorrow it may go 1000, 5000, who knows. So your investment will multiply, the shareholders investment gets manifold. Is this clear? And if the you have investment in good company, then the good companies return, give dividends at a higher rate. Is this clear? Like Hero Honda, Reliance at the time of Dhirubhai Ambani, they have given a lot of dividends. So the shareholder gets the benefit of the high rate of returns. Then the shareholder also gets rights, preemptive rights. What are those rights? Like if again company issues the shares, the same company issues the shares to the general public, so before issuing it to the general public, they give the rights to the present shareholders to purchase the new shares at lower price than the market price. That is known as preemptive rights, which I am going to explain you in the topic right shares. You can read today, so that when I explain you again, it is more clear and understandable to you. So I hope these points are clear to you. Now moving on to the disadvantages of equity share from the point of view of the company. First is manipulation of control. See, if you have more and more equity shareholders in the company, then the control will be diluted, isn't it? If the owners will be more, then the control will be diluted. Okay. Then danger of overcapitalization. Now if you have raised capital through issue of shares, and you think that, sir, it is better to issue equity shares because only dividend is to be paid, and dividend is to be paid only at the concern of the board of directors, so we may not pay. Thinking this, if you issue more and more equity share, then it will result in overcapitalization. Why? Because at that point of time you cannot refund the equity shareholders, because it is in the business for a longer period of time. So your financial structure, the capital structure, becomes inflexible. Then no trading on equity. This point I have told you, trading on equity in chapter number 2. So you don't get the benefit of trading on equity because you have already engaged entire capital, share capital. Okay. So the rate of dividend, or rate of funding will be very low. If there will be more and more number of shareholders, the rate per shareholder will be reduced automatically, isn't it? Then it is a costly. Why it is costly? Because it carries certain legal charges and other expenses, such as paying commission to the underwriters, paying brokerages to them. Okay, so this cost is added. Is this point clear to you? That becomes cost of finance, isn't it? Cost of finance, I told you na. Like if you want to engage 10 lakh rupees, you are issuing shares. So when you will issue shares of 10 lakh, you will get 10 lakh rupees. But apart from that, you have to meet certain expenses, legal charges you have to pay to the government. Then you have to pay amount to the underwriters as commission. Is this point clear? So automatically the cost of issue of shares are or becomes higher than issue of preference shareholders or issue of debentures. Okay. Then inflexible and as I told you, the last point of advantage was unlimited source. They said that any amount, as mentioned in the memorandum of association. Now that it will be a fixed amount, na? It cannot be infinite. Okay, so it is inflexible. You can only issue up to the amount of authorized capital, which is mentioned in memorandum of association. Sorry, memorandum of yes, the memorandum of association, which you have to file at the time of establishment of the company. Okay, now from the viewpoint of investor, what are the disadvantages? First one is perpetuation of control by a few. What does that means? As I told you, the number of shareholders may be more, but who will control in real sense? Only those who are having maximum number of shares. So board of directors, they are the person having more number of shares. Like if I have a company, I have a joint stock company, and I have given the share, so I will hold more number of shares, so that the control lies in my hand. Is this point clear to you? Like if I speak about Dwarikesh Sugar, so the owner of the company, Gautam Morarka, he is having more shares. Okay, that's why he is termed as the owner of the company. Clear? So if a person having only one share will be termed as shareholder, पर उसकी सुनेगा कौन? कोई सुनेगा नहीं, सुनेगा ना. और जिसके पास मोर एंड मोर नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स हैं उसकी सुनेंगे. Isn't it? So this is the first point. Then second point is high risk. High risk is, I just told you, the investment may increase multifold. Sir, at the same time the investment may fall multifold. Like now recession is going on, entire world, लोगों का इन्वेस्टमेंट था वो फंस गया, because company will not be able to pay to the banks and other financial institution for the loan. That's why they are saying no to interest. Government is saying no to interest for 3 months and so on. Why? Because high risk is there. You have invested in the company, and now all the companies are not working, isn't it? And if the companies are not working, what will be the impact? How they are going to pay their expenses? Salaries to the staff, then the fixed expenses they incurred on the purchase of assets, acquiring fixed assets. Yes or no? They have engaged funds from various sources. How they are going to refund? ये अभी in the news you are listening ना, recession आ रहा है. In 2009 it came, and now it is worse. You might be listening that economy is going down of entire world. So what is that? That is high risk now, because people are invested in various projects, and almost all the projects are closed down due to this pandemic. Okay, resources are employed at medical and other issues. Okay, other medical and other projects, isn't it? Okay, now unhealthy speculation. What is this? Now the board of directors and other person holding shares, high amount of shares, or those who are having knowledge of the stock market, what they used to do, they purchase more and more shares from the stock market when there is rise in the price, and they sell when the prices start falling. And what impact this have? This have the impact on innocent investors, those who don't know about much about these. So the company takes undue advantage. Clear? Like many officers in the company, they purchases share of their own company when this rise in the price of shares, and as soon as the price falls they start selling. So the innocent investors falls as a prey, and they lose a lot of money in making investment. So that is termed as unhealthy speculation. So that's it for today's lecture. Then we will cover preference shareholders and debentures in the next lecture. Okay, students, bye bye, take care, and do the questions. Stay at home. Bye.